believe it's necessary or helpful to support your neck during abdominal exercises. So that's one of the benefits of having my own studio is I don't get to see the nonsense that goes on in a typical commercial gym setting like I used to all the time. But that's also the downside. I get a little disconnected from what goes on out there. So a common thing you'll see, and it might not even be possible, or I guess not even useful for a lot of people to do the trunk flexion type movements like crunches or sit-ups, because so many people are stuck in this position. Oh. Hey, you just got disconnected. We're back. So talking about why I'm not a big fan of supporting your neck during abdominal exercises. So the first question is, should you be doing a trunk flexion? Should you be doing a crunch or a sit-up type of position or a type of movement? And for most people, I would say that no. The answer is no. You don't need to be doing that because so many people are stuck in that position for hours and hours and hours. And if we send signals to these abdominal muscles to contract over and over in this plane, we're sending a signal to go into that posture. Really what the abdominals do in functional activities and how they support the spine is through stabilizing and preventing excess movement. So that's the way we should train them. And if we're sitting for long hours, either driving or stuck at a desk, then we're already tightening these muscles, and we really need to stretch them more than contract them. But when you do work the abdominals in a forward trunk flexion way, a common thing you'll see in gyms is supporting the head with the hands, or some people use a towel. Or I used to have these machines they sell on infomercials that support the neck. It's like a little ab rocker thing. And it's become a big thing. But the reason I don't recommend that you do that is because if your neck is getting tired before your abdominals are getting tired, that is a signal of an imbalance. So if I'm doing a forward flexion, whether it's on a flat ground or the ball, if I am doing a crunch motion and my neck becomes tired before my abdominals become tired, that's an indication that my neck muscles need to be strengthened, or their endurance needs to be increased so that they fit into this kinetic chain better. Chain is only as strong as its weakest link. And if I'm working my abdominals and the neck gets tired, that's telling me the neck is the weakest link. And the weakest link in a chain tends to be where the breakdown can occur. So my advice is that if you are doing any abdominal exercise and your neck becomes tired, then stop there. Work on building endurance in those neck flexor muscles before you externally support the neck, and just keep on doing the crunch motion. That being said, it's really questionable whether most people need to be doing a trunk flexion movement too much at all, if at all, because of sitting at a desk. Another way to look at it is the balance between the deep flexors and the more external flexors. So there are two groups of muscles that will bend the neck forward this way. Two main groups. There are the deep ones. They're kind of like around the voice box and up into your under chin. We call those the deep flexors. Then there are the more external, superior, or I guess you call it exterior, more external flexors. Not superficial is the anatomical term. So you have the deep flexors. The superficial flexors would be the sternocleidomastoids. These are the big muscles. Like back when I played football in high school and I'd always tense my neck up before slamming my head into someone. Explains a lot. Those muscles were well developed. They're a lot less developed now, but they tend to shorten and tighten if you're stuck in a position like driving or working at a desk. So a good way to tell if those muscles are dominating your neck flexion movement or the deeper muscles are dominating is to lift your head. So if you lie down on your back, and you can video yourself, you take a video of yourself lifting your head and do several repetitions and just see how you lift your head. And look at your video. You don't want to try to do this. You don't want to try to assess this while you're doing it. But if the superficial flexors, the sternocleidomastoids, are too short and tight, it'll tend to look like this. The chin will go up. So the back of the head is kind of curled back. It'll look like this. But if both muscles groups, the deep flexors and the more superficial flexors, are working together, it'll look more like this. So there's a big difference between this and this. A lot of times if you're in a commercial gym, you're going to see people supporting the neck externally and doing a chin lift to the sky kind of thing. So what you want to do, if you notice that your neck flexion looks more like this than it does like this, more like this than it does like this, that's an indicator the sternocleidomastoids are tight. You want to go back against the wall, tuck your chin, try to stretch those muscles out, turn to each side, can help mobilize them, and then basic stretches where you keep everything lined up, back against the wall, tuck the chin, and then lay one ear to the opposite shoulder and keep the shoulder down, and then the other way. Those are some stretches you can do to lengthen the sternocleidomastoid. The other thing you can do to more effectively activate your deep flexors of your neck is to place the tongue on the roof of the mouth, kind of like the tip of the tongue is right behind the space on your palate, right behind the two front teeth. Place your tongue there. What that does is it gives the deep neck flexors a firmer foundation with which to help you flex your neck. So you can kind of feel these muscles if you place your hand around your voice box, and you can feel them. And if you move your neck, you'll kind of feel them moving. And then gently press your tongue to the roof of the mouth right behind the front teeth. You're going to feel some muscles engage when you do that. When you gently press the tongue there during any kind of neck flexion activity, or anytime you need to stabilize the neck, I usually like to do these. I don't do heavy shrugs anymore. There used to be a time when I did, and what will tend to happen there is the neck wants to go forward. When you're doing heavy shrugs with dumbbells, trying to keep the chin tucked and keep the tongue pressed on the roof of the mouth and keep the neck in neutral will really keep this part, back of the neck, upper traps in a lengthened position where they can do their work, but it will also just keep the neck in a safer, more neutral position. So, if you got any benefit from this, share it. If you want me to look at your neck flexion, post a video here, lay down on your back, and set up your camera, lay down on your back, and then lift your head a few times this way. And I can give you my input about what's going on with your neck mechanics. Are the deep neck flexors working, or are the more superficial neck flexors, the sternocleidomastoids, are they dominating? Do they need to be stretched? Do you need to activate the deep neck flexors more? But definitely, if you find your neck is getting tired on any kind of abdominal movement, don't support the neck and keep going. Stop there, build endurance and strengthen the neck so that it fits in better with the whole kinetic chain. And if you want more content that's not available here on the regular Facebook channel or the regular YouTube channel, then click the link that's connected to this video. You'll have a chance to sign up for the Run Better Now VIP Club. Thank you.